called The Traveling Businessman and a Trustworthy Ghost, Part 1 of 6, on Between Master and Disciples, given in English on April 25th, 2021.
Do you have questions?
We have one question so far.
Only one?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me then.
Master, there is an ongoing crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. In the first few months of Joe Biden's presidency, the number of illegal immigrants apprehended has surged, with more arrivals than any other period in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Some say it is fueled by the perception that his administration has a more open border policy. By contrast, the former U.S. President, His Excellency Donald Trump's policies tightly restricted legal and illegal immigration and directed immigration officials to apprehend anyone in the country unlawfully. Would Master kindly share her thoughts on this issue?
Yes. President Trump wanted to regulate the immigration traffic flow from other countries to be in a more orderly manner, to protect the Americans as well as the immigrating people. The U.S. has already actually a kind of open policy, like yearly everyone can apply to live there or work there if they win the green card program. 55,000 nowadays yearly can have that chance. Plus, anyone can apply in many other ways to live and work in the U.S. openly. Open border is very good.
Yes,
But it should be done, in an organized way. Otherwise, it will be chaotic. As I have read in the news, it seems to breed a kind of crisis, at the border between USA and Mexico. Because you cannot just open the border without planning. In Europe, it's different. They have a Schengen zone where people from different countries in Europe can just go in and out of any other countries without any border, without checkpoints, without passport or any ID necessary. But they had planned many equipment and systems to put this into practice. But America and Mexico and others, like South American countries, they did not plan. So in that case, it's not very good to just let people come in like that, because you might have different people who are not qualified, with maybe disease or criminal records or other kind of unpleasant things. And also, if you don't plan in advance, then you don't have like a center to screen people and to give them ID to go into the U.S. so that they can find a job or they can find their relatives. As I saw it in the news, it's kind of very chaotic. All the children squeezed together in pens, and it's almost very unkind, because people come to the United States all of a sudden, so the people at the border cannot deal with the influx so fast. And there might be not enough comfortable accommodation and not enough food. The logistic stuff, this is not very good like that. Not good for America, not good for Mexicans and other immigrants. I heard that they came all the way from even Honduras and other countries in Central America. So to open the border is very nice, very kind, and very good for any country. When you need some extra workers or you just want to be hospitable, it's very good. But in this case, when it's so chaotic like that, it's very bad for for the immigrants, especially for the small children. I saw them even drop over the fence, the wall of the border, and that's very bad for them. This must be traumatic for them, and it's very difficult for the child to forget this kind of traumatic experience in their very young and tender age. And also important is in the time of pandemic, most of the borders are closed to protect the people. And at the moment, it's not favorable to open. If the children are squeezed together like that, healthy and unhealthy, that's very bad for all of them. Don't you think so?
Yes.
And also, I saw it in the news that many people are sick, like they have COVID-19, and they are just let, to go into the United States. And that might infect healthy Americans also.
Yeah.
That's very, very inconsiderate. It should not have been done this way. Yeah, it should have been more organized before the immigrants were able to come into America. Otherwise, the open border is very good. Yeah, good for the host country, good for the immigrants. Because immigrants need jobs and they will be motivated to work very hard and contribute to the country as well as for the immigrant himself. Yeah. It's just that we have to organize, in advance. Have a good place for them to stay. Meanwhile, and some doctors, some medical personnel to take care of their health when they first come, and organize the logistic situation, with food and clothing and blankets and rooms and hygiene, stuff like that. It wasn't really very organized, and that's very, very bad for the children who are sent there, especially without any parents or adult accompaniment. I don't think it's very kind. Even the intention may be good. Yes. But good intention is not everything. Good intention has to come also with good logistic arrangements. Yes. And all the preparation to welcome the guests. Even in Europe, with this Schengen agreement in the Schengen zone, during the pandemic, borders are closed also. So the border between the U.S. and Mexico opened. I think it's not a very good idea at the moment. Besides, the mentality of European countries is maybe different from the mentality of the Mexicans and the Americans. Different expectations, different way of life. In the European Union, most of the people's standards of living are similar. Of course, there are always the richer and the less rich. But the standards of living are more or less similar between the countries in the Schengen zone. Even then, during the pandemic, they closed the borders as a prevention to protect their citizens. Especially in the pandemic situation like we are in right now. I don't know if the border should be open like that. And that would be also encouraging the smugglers, human traffickers, or drug traffickers, all kinds of unfavorable group of people also will be mixing in. And that's no good for the host country, for America at all.
Yes, Master.
Any more questions?
Master, I thought of one recently. India is experiencing a record number of COVID infections and deaths recently.
Recently? More than before?
Yes. Hospitals are even having to turn people away, and some hospitals are even running out of oxygen, which is very worrying. I wonder why India is experiencing this unfortunate situation at the moment. I know recently one of the biggest festivals went ahead, Kumbh Mela, which attracted many thousands, perhaps even millions of people. And it still went ahead even amid the pandemic.
Yeah.
Could this be one of the reasons why there are so many infections and deaths happening at the moment?
Well, it's obvious, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe they opened too early, no?
Yes.
Yes, Master.
But India is a very big country and has a big population. I think the government also doesn't want to restrict people too long, you know? Yeah. And especially it concerns the Kumbh Mela is very, very big event. And is religiously very, very important. So perhaps the government couldn't really forbid that.
Right.
India is a very religious country, and Kumbh Mela is like Mecca. Hundreds of thousands of people come every day. It amounts to millions. In this situation, the COVID infection is very easy to spread. So that probably is also one of the reasons, okay?
Yeah.
But in other countries also, they have such a problem right now as well. And the COVID has mutated itself up to now, even a double mutation, double variant. And it rearranged itself to avoid the neutralization of the vaccine.
Yes, Master.
This virus is something, I told you before, it has souls in it. It's so clever. It seems to always be one step ahead of humans' intelligence and invention. I think humans don't invent quickly enough for this kind of virus. So it's just karma.
Yes, Master.
Very difficult to avoid this kind of sickness. And the thing is, it's not like many other pandemics or epidemics where you can have a vaccine and then it will go away. This one, to some people, it goes away. For some people, it doesn't go away. And the report from the authorities that they did research, and it is stated that 1/3 of the infected patients has a long recovery. Many have a long recovery, even 1 year on, and after they are still don't feel the same. They still feel this hangover from this pandemic. And they say 1/3 of the patients would have a brain problem.
They call it brain fog. So you have a hazy thinking or feeling inside your brain, so it's called brain fog.
Yeah. They also like that. 1/3 of the patients, at least. That's what they say. So it looks like it's difficult to avoid this one. Yeah?
Yes, Master.
COVID-19. Very difficult. It keeps changing its strategy, you know, and we humans keep running after it. Keep chasing it and hunting it, but it seems like we are not in a favorable win-win situation right now.
Right.
Even double variant, my God.